Reign of the Supermen, 2019's sequel to the Death of Superman movie, as part of the DCAMU series of shared universe films, and we're continuing our look at these movies, and I'm just going to start off by saying this, man. Good God in heaven, was this a good time. There are nitpicks. There are a few things I don't like about this, but this was a phenomenal movie. In fact, this might actually be my favorite animated Superman movie. Now, I haven't seen them all yet. And maybe I'll go in and see them all on HBO Max and give you all my thoughts, but good Lord, did I enjoy this. This movie felt like an epic event. This movie felt like it was... I know they put it in theaters, and it deserved to be. This was bigger, grander, huger, if that's even a word. Massive, massive story. They could have ended it here. I mean, obviously there's still stuff that was unresolved by the end, but this felt as epic in scale as you can get, and really a lot of my criticisms have to do with the fact that I wanted more. So the question is that really criticism? The movie's about 90 minutes long, almost, and if they had added another half hour to this, just to flesh some things out, it could have probably been even better. That's the only criticism, really, and I'm going to go into it more in the review, but man, did I love this movie. Okay, so this is going to be adapting the death and rebirth of Superman storyline from 92-93, and this is the second half of the two-part story. The first one was the death of Superman. This is all about the reign of the Supermen. 6 months after the death of Superman, these 4 mysterious Supermen have appeared and are all claiming the title of Superman. There is the Cyborg Superman. There's one called the Eradicator, who seems to be pretty aggressive. There is the Man of Steel, or Steel. And then there's Superboy. And they are all claiming to be they are like a Game of Thrones. They are all claiming the title of being Superman. And the whole kind of early plot of this movie follows Lois Lane trying to unravel the mystery of where these guys came from, who they are, what their motives are, and do they actually have a connection to the real Kal-El, to the real Clark Kent? And is one of them actually Clark Kent? That's kind of the big story. The only thing I wish they would have done with this is I wish they would have maybe made it a 3-part movie or given them more time, because just that plot by itself, Lois trying to unravel this mystery, could have been its own movie without all the other stuff that we got. And she's not alone. I mean, she gets help. But this story, you know, that's what pushed kind of the early plot. And as the movie progresses, we're finding out more and more, like, where these Supermen came from. You know, Superboy. And by the way, if you haven't seen this, go see it before you watch this review. In fact, stop the review right now and go see it, because they did change things up from the comic, and I actually kind of like the choices they made. I do like what they did. So, Superboy is a clone that was made of the cells of Lex Luthor and Superman. Love that, by the way. Then we have Steel, which is, you know, Steel. He's just a guy who made a badass suit with an S on it, but his S stands for Steel, not Superman. Then we have Cyborg Superman, who claims to be the true Superman. In fact, he, at one point in the film, almost convinces Lois that he is. And then we find out he's actually not on their side. He's actually working for Darkseid, who has this whole plan set up. And then we have the Eradicator, who is in fact a Kryptonian hologram that was created by Superman's, I guess, his people, obviously, but it was like a sort of a, I guess you can call it like a contingency plan if something happens. And the whole thing is, like, early in the movie, you know, like I said, you're trying to figure out what's going on, and then we find out, and it starts to unravel. Then, meanwhile, the Justice League get transported away somewhere, and Cyborg Superman creates the Cybercore militia, and with these mother boxes, and it's all being done to open up a portal to bring Darkseid to Earth so he can get his revenge. So, Darkseid, first of all, Jerry O'Connell playing Kal-El, Jason O'Mara playing Batman, he's back. Rebecca Romijn as Lois Lane. Lots of Lois Lane in this movie. This movie had the most Lois Lane of any movie we've seen so far. Tony Todd is Darkseid. That was interesting. Candyman is Darkseid. That was kind of a cool little Easter egg right there. I was happy to see that. Max Middleman is back playing Jimmy Olsen, a few other characters. You know, he was in the previous movie too. Rosario Dawson is Wonder Woman. They all did a great job. Even Lex Luthor, who I did not really dig his voice, Rainn Wilson, I didn't really dig his voice in the previous movie. I kind of warmed up to him here, and man, what a character arc for Luthor. Yeah, he's a prick, and he's still a bad guy, but he really saved the day there at the end. One of the things I wish they would have done here is kept the mystery going of the 4 Supermen, and maybe give it another, few more minutes before everything started coming out. And then I also wish they would have given the Justice League more time to have some action. At the end, when they show up in the city, when Luthor transports them there, I popped. I'm cheering. That was an amazing animation scene. It was amazing the way it was done. I'm over here like, okay, kick their ass, like against the Cyber Corps. And I really wanted some more badass action from them. Really wanted that. We didn't get it, but that's okay. I think they really got them over. I think the character of Steel really won me over in this movie. I want to see more of him. Superboy was also amazing. This movie managed to get over everybody. Like, every character in this movie I loved. And I can only imagine how much better it could have been if it was longer. I feel like, the third act where Superman comes back to confront the Cyborg, and then you find out, during the movie you find out, who he is, and, who he was, and what Darkseid did to him. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. I really loved that Darkseid was the one who's puppeteering all of this, like Doomsday and Cyborg Superman, all to get revenge for what happened to him in the second DCAMU movie. Love that. The big finale was Superman getting his powers back from the sun and, using the blue kryptonite, like on his forehead, to use the Eradicator. That was all. I loved that. I wish there was a bit more. Like, again, my criticism of this movie is that I wish there was more. Now, is that really bad? And I just, dude, I really enjoyed this. Like, a lot of it was Lois Lane and the world sort of understand, or trying to, come to terms with the fact that Superman's gone, how important he is to the structure of everything. Even early in the movie, Wonder Woman's like, yo, we got our hands full, as the League. So this DC AMU universe, even with the Teen Titans who do get mentioned here, they got Martian Manhunter on their side. They've got other superheroes that can help them. Kal-El is very important to that equation. Obviously, he's Superman. And the other League members all have their powers, and they're all strong. But Superman's very special. And I really loved how they did that. Like, I truly, truly enjoyed that. Because it wasn't like they were saying he was the end-all, be-all, but they were getting overwhelmed. And then you have, the story of Luthor kind of being selfish, but at the same time, he comes around by the end. He creates Superboy, but at the same time, by the end, he realizes that the world needs the League, and that there are forces out there that even Superman is necessary sometimes, and I really loved, like I said, if you find out what's going on with the Eradicator and everything like that, and the return of Superman with the long hair and the black suit, fantastic. I mean, I really enjoyed that. And also, besides how much I love this story and how everybody got to shine, even though I wish they would have shined more, I love this movie. I really enjoyed it. This is going to be in my, top 5 Superman movies, And again, I haven't seen them all yet, but of the ones I've seen, I really loved it. I got to put over the music. Gotta put it over. Frederick Wideman did a tremendous job with the score in this movie. You have a mix of epic, it feels like the score from the old Superman cartoon, the Bruce Timm one, but with a more movie kind of esque feeling to it. I really do regret not seeing this in theaters when it was out. It was obviously a short run. It was back in January 2019 because this was so enjoyable. I mean, I always was a fan of this storyline in the comics. And I know a lot of folks don't like it, but I liked it. And like I said, some of it's probably nostalgia. But the way they kind of twisted it here with Darkseid being more involved and like all that stuff was fantastic. It was also a bit unexpected too. Again, I'm going into this not like I'm going into these movies not really like knowing much about what happens, right? I'm watching it for the first time, these DCAMU movies. I know what happens in the comics, but seeing the way they change things, I liked it a lot. It fit a lot better with this. Actually, this movie came out at one time with Death of Superman, and it was called Death and Return of Superman, which was a big video game back in the 90s and a really popular title for the storyline. And it fits. I mean, it really does fit. And it also rewards you. If you've been watching these movies since all the way back in the Flashpoint Paradox or Justice League War, this really will reward you. Like, you get a payoff. And it's not even over yet because, by the end, the League want to take it to Darkseid. They want to go to Apocalypse, which I'm sure is going to be a movie coming up in the future. I don't know for sure, but I know. I know, but I don't know. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, you know what I'm saying? But, man, this was so much fun. I wish that this was longer. This is the one that I wish was actually 2 hours. Because they could have done so much more. They could have done so much more. They could have just really, really fleshed things out, given us more development for the Superman, kept the mystery going. It could have been a 3-parter. And the comic kind of was divided up into 3 chapters. You had the Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, and then Reign of the Superman. They could have done that, and I think it may have benefited, but I cannot complain much about this. I really, really liked it a lot. The next movie we're going to be watching in the DCAMU Rewind is going to be Batman Hush, which is supposed to be the debut of Catwoman in the DCAMU. And I'm curious because I want to see what they do with it. We're seeing some of the classic characters, from Batman appear. And so we haven't seen a Batman movie here in a while. That's going to be followed by Wonder Woman Bloodlines and then finally Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So that should be a good time. What do you think about this movie? Look, if you're going to criticize it, go for it. I just had such a good time watching it, The Reign of the Supermen, that I know I'm going to watch it again as one big movie at some point because it was a lot of fun. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.